When you think about survival gear, you might picture a tent, some rope, and a decent pocket knife. But actually, tactical survival gear is a whole different category. They're dependable, rugged, and made to work when nothing else will. So in this video, we'll show you the 20 tactical survival gear items you should actually consider. And just to make things easier, you'll find updated prices and purchase links down in the description. Subscribe if you haven't already, and let's begin. Alright, first. In our list is the Rhino USA Ultimate Survival Shovel, which isn't just some little campfire digger. It's designed to handle serious situations, natural disasters, vehicle escapes, or hardcore bushcraft. And honestly, it feels ready for it. That said, it's not the lightest piece of kit out there, and there's a bit of a learning curve when you first start using it. Right out of the box, the construction feels solid. It folds down compactly for easy storage, but extends into a full-length shovel that's surprisingly comfortable to handle. And the features: sharp edges for cutting, saw teeth, a fire starter, a whistle, a bottle opener. Basically, they packed a whole survival kit into one tool. It can feel a bit like too much, and yeah, some of it isn't going to get daily use, but in a high-stress scenario, every bit of it could come in handy. For emergencies, clearing debris, building a quick shelter, or prying your way out of a stuck vehicle, this shovel becomes one of those tools you don't realize you need until the moment hits. It's heavy compared to ultralight gear, but this thing's like the duct tape of tools. Overbuilt, multifunctional, and probably not what you'll grab first. But in the right situation, it could become the MVP of your entire pack. Moving on to the SOG Flint Survival and Defense Tool. It's tiny and light enough, less than an ounce, but it manages to pack in 4 practical survival tools. It's designed to live in your pocket or attach to your pack without getting in the way, ready to jump into action when you really need it. Inside, you've got a fire starter that works even when wet, a small compartment for steel wool tinder, a carbide-tipped glass breaker for emergencies, and a safety whistle. It's compact for what it does, and the aluminum body is knurled to give you grip when your hands are slippery or sweaty. There are no loose parts to fumble with, which is really useful under stress. Though the whistle isn't as loud as a dedicated emergency one, and the tinder compartment is kinda small, so it's not ideal for prolonged use. But that's not what it's meant for. The Flint isn't replacing your main survival kit, it's a backup, a little lifesaver that could turn the tide in a pinch. When you need it most, it's the sort of tool you're glad you slipped into your pocket without even thinking. When you think of survival gear, a folding bow probably isn't the first thing that comes to mind. But the SAS Recon makes a strong case for itself. At first glance, it looks compact, barely over 2 feet when packed down. But open it up and suddenly you've got a full-size 63-inch hunting bow in your hands, capable of sending arrows at speeds over 200 feet per second. One of the clever design choices here is the built-in arrow storage. The riser itself holds up to 3 takedown arrows, meaning you don't have to dig through a pack when you need them most. In a survival scenario, those seconds matter. Build quality is another plus. It's made from aerospace-grade T6 aluminum, which gives it a rugged, almost indestructible feel. Many users also appreciate how quickly it deploys, and it's designed to work equally well for right or left-handed shooters. Now, some users claim it's bulkier than advertised and works better with a full-size frame pack, not a small day bag. Still, that fold-out system and internal storage make it a unique survival bow that's ready to hunt and defend when other options aren't available. Rope is one of those things that always seems to get tangled at the exact moment you need it most. That's what the Atwood Tactical Rope Dispenser was made to fix. Designed by a U.S. Special Ops paratrooper, this compact little box carries 50 feet of 550 paracord and feeds it out perfectly every time. It even has a built-in cutting blade, so you don't need to dig for a knife when you're in a hurry. Well, the design is simple but clever. Clip it to your belt, pull out as much cord as you need, and cut with one hand. That's it. The dispenser is also reloadable, which means you're not throwing it away once the cord is gone. Users really appreciate the reliability and the fact that it's impact-resistant. Though 50 feet of cord isn't a ton if you're planning a longer mission. Plus, the plastic housing may not impress everyone at first glance. But people who've used it in real situations say it holds up surprisingly well. What makes this tool stand out is how it eliminates the mess of loose rope. When others are still untangling, you've already secured your shelter, tied down gear, or set up whatever you need. Gloves might sound simple, but the Zune Lotoo ZAG 2 aren't your average pair. These are built with tactical use in mind, balancing protection, comfort, and functionality in one package. They come with genuine suede palms for grip, TPR guards across the knuckles for impact protection, and, something we all need these days, touchscreen-compatible fingertips. They don't feel like oversized mitts. They actually contour to your hands, giving you dexterity for handling weapons, tools, or even small objects. The breathable mesh panels also help reduce that sweaty hand feeling during longer use. Now, they run a little warmer than lightweight mechanic-style gloves, and if you're only doing light tasks, the heavy-duty build might feel unnecessary. But when you need reliable hand protection without sacrificing precision, these gloves really shine. And if you want even more defense, the ZAG 6 variant comes with optional Kevlar lining. The real appeal here is how seamlessly they transition. You can go from rugged tactical use to regular day-to-day functionality without swapping gloves. Few knives earn the battle-tested label quite like the Gerber StrongArm. Yeah, it's one of Gerber's best-known fixed blades, with a design that's been trusted since the late 1960s. At its core, it's a full-tang knife made from 420HC steel, coated with ceramic for extra durability. The handle is wrapped in a diamond-textured rubber that keeps your grip secure, and the pommel is reinforced for striking in emergencies. What really sets the StrongArm apart, though, is its sheath system. It's MOLLE compatible and gives you multiple carry options: belt, drop leg, or mounted on gear, making it versatile for different setups. Users consistently praise its balance, reliability, and Gerber's American-made quality backed by a lifetime warranty. It's the kind of knife people carry for years because it just works. There are a couple of trade-offs, of course. The edge may need more frequent sharpening if you're putting it through heavy use, and people with larger hands sometimes find the grip a bit small, but those are minor issues compared to what it delivers. The StrongArm has earned its reputation not because it looks tactical, but because it's practical, tough, and adaptable to just about any mission profile. If a regular knife feels too small but a full sword feels excessive, then have a look at the Cold Steel Tactical Tanto Machete. It lands right in the middle. Inspired by Cold Steel's Warrior series, it carries the intimidating Tanto blade shape but stretches it into a machete-length tool. And the result is a 13-inch blade made from 1055 high-carbon steel, coated to resist rust. People who've used it love how solid it feels right out of the box. It comes sharp and stays sharp. The Tanto tip gives it strong piercing ability, while the long blade provides the reach and chopping power you'd expect from a machete. The handle is polypropylene, so it won't warp or fall apart in wet conditions, and it comes with a Corex sheath for safe carry. Of course, it's not perfect. The weight makes it less friendly for long carry. The handle can feel rough on your hands after extended use, and some users mention occasional inconsistencies in edge finishing. Still, what makes this machete stand out is that hybrid personality. You've got the finesse of a tactical Tanto, combined with the raw chopping muscle of a machete. For survival, bushcraft, or defense, it's a tool that covers a lot of ground. Well, a headlamp is one of those survival essentials people often ignore to carry. But the Black Diamond Storm is the kind of gear you'll be glad to have once darkness hits. With up to 450 lumens of output, it's more than powerful enough for night hikes, search tasks, or emergencies. But what makes it smarter than a basic flashlight is the mix of features. White light for brightness, plus red, green, and blue modes to preserve night vision or signal without drawing attention. It's also seriously tough. Rated IP67, it's both waterproof and dustproof. Users particularly like the Power Tap system, which lets you instantly switch between your preferred setting and full brightness with just a tap on the side. It also has a memory function, so it remembers the brightness you last used instead of resetting each time. Though it's kinda heavier than entry-level headlamps because of the integrated rechargeable battery. But it has 350 hours of burn time on low, comfortable elastic that doesn't dig into your head, and multicolor modes that make it more versatile. For anyone serious about preparedness, this isn't just a headlamp, it's a reliable survival light system. Next, we've got the CRKT Kangee T-Hawk. Well, it's not your average camp axe. It's a purpose-built tactical tomahawk designed by Ryan Johnson, who's been refining these tools for decades. Made from SK5 carbon steel, it features a sharp blade on one side and an aggressive spike on the other, making it useful for both chopping and breaching tasks. One of its standout features is the 3-position grip. You can choke up for controlled carving, grip it mid-handle for standard chopping, or hold it at the base for maximum swing power. Users say this flexibility makes it more versatile than most hatchets, whether you're using it for utility work like splitting wood or for tactical scenarios. It also comes with a MOLLE-compatible Kydex sheath, so it carries securely and is easy to mount on gear. That said, it's not meant to replace a heavy-duty axe. If you're chopping large logs all day, this isn't the tool for it. And while most report excellent durability, some users note that heavy abuse can test its limits. Still, the Kangee's real strength is in its versatility. Between the sharp edge, piercing spike, and adaptable grips, it's a tool that can shift from precision work to raw force in seconds, making it a favorite among survivalists and tactical users alike. Let's talk about something that's often overlooked: how you actually carry your gear. The VORTEX GLASSPAK Pro isn't just a binocular harness. It's a full modular chest rig designed to adapt to different needs. At its core, you get a waterproof binocular case with a snug fit, comfortable straps, and a few basics like a rangefinder pouch and cleaning cloth. But the real advantage comes with its add-ons. There are 7 modular accessories you can attach: holsters, bear spray holders, zippered pouches, even a hand muff for cold conditions. That means instead of juggling separate bags or rigs, you've got one platform that you can customize for the mission at hand. Hunters love it for the quiet operation and weatherproof zippers, while tactical users appreciate how it keeps essentials accessible right on the chest. Well, once you start adding accessories, the price can creep up fast. But after that, it's smooth sailing. So whether you're carrying optics, emergency gear, or defensive tools, the GLASSPAK Pro gives you a stable and customizable way to keep them close without digging through a backpack. Meet the SOG Recondo FX, a knife that has earned its place with professionals who need reliable performance under pressure. This one is built from Cryo 440C stainless steel, paired with a black titanium nitride coating to give it strength against wear, corrosion, and hard use. The blade manages to stay sharp longer and doesn't weigh you down either, coming in at just 5.3 ounces. What really sets it apart is the Kydex sheath. It's compatible with SOG's universal mounting system, giving you plenty of mounting options and adjustable tension so you can carry it the way you want. People who've used it often mention how sharp it comes right out of the box, plus the rubber grip makes sure it stays secure even when your hands are wet or sweaty. On the flip side, the aluminum edges can feel a little too sharp for comfort, and its slim build, while excellent for clean cuts and precision work, isn't the best choice for heavier tasks like batoning wood. That said, if you're looking for a knife that's quick to access, versatile, and well-suited to tactical or utility use, the Recondo FX fits that role without unnecessary bulk. When medical help can't wait, the RTS Tactical Rapid Deploy IFAK makes sure life-saving supplies are right at hand. What makes this kit different is its one-motion deployment system. You pull the red tab, and everything inside comes out together, ready for use. It was designed after listening to combat medics who knew the limitations of older IFAKs that often slowed things down in critical moments. Inside, the kit packs professional-grade items like the Gen 7 CAT tourniquet, trauma bandage, quick clot gauze, chest seals, and trauma shears. Basically, it has the essentials you'd need to handle severe bleeding and trauma on the spot. The whole thing is wrapped in bonded cordura with strong stitching and comes with multiple attachment points so you can mount it where it makes the most sense on your gear. Though you'll need to be mindful when repacking after training drills, it can take a little effort to fit everything neatly again. Still, whether you're a first responder, someone working in the field, or even an outdoors enthusiast who understands emergencies rarely come at a convenient time, this IFAK delivers a fast and reliable way to get medical care started when it's needed most. Sometimes carrying a full multi-tool isn't an option, and that's where the Leatherman Tread comes in. It puts 29 tools right around your wrist. The idea came about when Leatherman's CEO had a multi-tool taken away at Disneyland, which led to creating a TSA-approved tool you can wear like a bracelet. Each stainless steel link hides something useful: hex wrenches, screwdrivers, box wrenches, and even a carbide glass breaker. You just take it off your wrist, bend it to the right angle, and get to work. It's built from strong 1740 stainless steel, and people like how it keeps tools handy in places where you normally couldn't carry them. Everyday touches like the SIM card tool or bottle opener end up being surprisingly practical. Of course, it isn't perfect. Using the tools sometimes means working with awkward angles, and it does take a moment to remove and reposition the bracelet for certain jobs. But if you travel often, work in security-sensitive areas, or just like the idea of having real tools without adding bulk to your pockets, the Tread offers a very different kind of multi-tool, one that's always within reach without breaking any rules. When night falls and you need reliable light, the Acebeam T37 makes sure you're not left in the dark. It can pump out a massive 4,000 lumens thanks to its luminous SFT 90X LED, throwing a beam as far as 440 meters. Power comes from a high-capacity 21,700 battery, which charges in just 2.5 hours through a hidden USB-C port. The design gives you options for control: a rotary magnetic switch for quick changes, and a dual-stage tail switch for tactical use. With those, you can move through 5 modes, jump straight to turbo, or hit strobe in a hurry. People like how sturdy it feels, how well it manages heat, and the fact it can run up to 72 hours on its lowest setting, which is a big deal for extended outings. On the downside, some find the bright blue battery indicator distracting at night, and the turbo mode steps down fast after about a minute to avoid overheating. Still, those trade-offs make sense for durability. For professionals or anyone who needs serious light with dependable controls, the T37 stands out as a well-built, high-performance option for tactical and outdoor use. These days, gear that saves space while adding utility is worth looking at, and the Dango T01 tactical wallet is a solid example. It's built around a CNC-machined aluminum frame combined with real leather, slim enough to hold up to 12 cards while blocking RFID signals to keep your information safe. The standout detail is the included MT02 multi-tool that slides into the wallet itself. Once locked in place, it gives you over 14 functions, things like hex wrenches, a paracord cutter, a serrated edge, nail puller, and even a stand for your phone. The idea is to combine everyday carry needs with tools you might not expect to have in a wallet. Users like the premium build and how clever the integration feels, but there are some caveats. The aluminum edges can feel sharp when handling, and you do need to be careful pulling cards in and out, especially with the blade edge inside. There's also a bit of a learning curve at first. But once you get the hang of it, the T01 works as both a secure wallet and a hidden multi-tool, making it a unique option for anyone who wants practical gear disguised in something they already carry every day. If you're packing light but still want maximum versatility, the Zune Lotoo Annihilate FA3 is one of those survival tools that tries to cover everything. At first glance, it's a shovel, but it quickly proves it's much more. The head pivots into 6 different positions and is made from high-carbon steel, tough enough to handle 882 pounds of pressure while holding a sharp edge thanks to its heat treatment. What makes it special is its modular design. It isn't just a shovel. You also get a tactical axe, rescue knife, magnesium fire starter, wire saw, and even an emergency whistle built into the system. Fully extended, it reaches 24.5 inches for digging, but it can also shift rolls depending on what's needed. People who've used it say it feels solid and truly useful for camping, vehicle emergencies, or survival setups. The biggest drawbacks are that the threaded connections may loosen under heavy strain, and the price reflects its higher-end materials. Still, when space and weight are limited, the FA3 manages to give you a single tool that covers multiple bases, making it a strong pick for serious outdoor adventurers or anyone focused on emergency preparedness. Fire is a must-have in survival, and the Atomic Bear Firewand makes the job a lot easier. It's a simple aluminum tube with a waxed hemp wick that burns for over 3 hours total, letting you carry a flame wherever you need it instead of being stuck trying to start a fire at one fixed spot. Using it is straightforward. Light the wick with a spark, carry the flame to your tinder, even if it's in a tough-to-reach or windy spot, and then pull the wick back in to snuff it out. It works especially well with ferro rods, and users like how dependable it feels compared to matches or lighters, which can struggle in wet or windy conditions. The main limitation is that the wick will eventually burn out, but since each one is 13 inches long and lightweight to replace, it isn't a deal-breaker. For bushcraft, camping, or just adding reliability to your fire-starting kit, the Firewand brings a neat mix of primitive fire-making and modern convenience. It ensures you have a controlled flame available, which is a big step up when conditions make starting a fire tricky. When bleeding control is critical, the North American Rescue Gen 7 CAT is the tourniquet trusted by the U.S. Army and widely seen as the standard for stopping life-threatening extremity bleeding. It's been tested and proven 100% effective by the U.S. Army Institute of Surgical Research, showing why it's a go-to for both military and civilian use. This latest generation improves on older models with a single routing buckle that makes it faster to apply, even under stress. It can be used one-handed, which is essential in many situations. The reinforced windlass system adds durability, while the free-moving internal band applies even pressure all around the limb without causing unnecessary tissue damage. People appreciate how intuitive it is when properly trained, and the gray strap even gives you space to record application time, which is key for medical handoffs. Of course, like all tourniquets, it's single-use and requires the right training to be effective. But if you're serious about emergency medicine, outdoor safety, or tactical preparedness, the Gen 7 CAT remains one of the most reliable tools you can have for saving lives when every second matters. For those who want dependable lighting in the field, the Fenix PD36 TAC packs a lot of performance into a compact flashlight. It uses a luminous SST70 LED to push out 3,000 lumens with a beam distance close to 900 feet. Power comes from a 21,700 battery that recharges directly with USB-C, so you don't need to carry extra chargers. The PD36 TAC's big advantage is its rotary toggle switch, which lets you move between tactical mode for quick, simplified output, duty mode for access to the full brightness range, and a lockout mode to avoid accidental activation. People find the controls glove-friendly and the build solid, which lines up with Fenix's reputation for reliable gear. Some downsides: the light can't stand on its tail because of the switch design, and like many high-output lights, it steps down from turbo fairly quickly. Even so, it performs exactly as intended for tactical use. For law enforcement, security work, or outdoor use where dependable brightness and easy controls are critical, the PD36 TAC is a trustworthy choice. Survival preparedness isn't always about carrying bulky tactical gear. Sometimes it's about small items you can wear every day. The Atomic Bear Cobra Paracord bracelet packs multiple survival tools into something that looks like a simple wristband. It contains 12 feet of 550 paracord, along with a ferro rod and striker, a compass, and a loud emergency whistle. The idea is to give you the basics: fire, signaling, navigation, and cordage, all in one lightweight accessory that adjusts to fit wrists between 8 and 10.5 inches. People like having the whistle for emergencies and the peace of mind that they can always start a fire if needed. The compass can be a little tricky since the striker's metal can throw it off, and like most ferro rods, you'll need to scrape off the coating before it works properly. But once prepped, it's a handy fire starter. Overall, this bracelet isn't meant to replace a full survival kit, but it does give you some backup essentials right on your wrist. For outdoor enthusiasts, or anyone who likes having survival tools within reach, the Cobra bracelet is an easy way to carry a little extra security. .3S might look like just another bright flashlight, but it's got a bit more going on under the hood. It cranks out up to 2,300 lumens, which is seriously bright, and has a proximity sensor built in. Basically, if something gets too close, it automatically dials down the brightness to keep from scorching surfaces or blinding you. Handy in some situations, but here's the catch: it can also be a little too sensitive. You'll find it dimming when you really don't want it to. You can override it, but only if you double-tap the side button within 5 seconds of it dimming, which isn't always convenient. Control-wise, you've got both a tail switch and a side switch. So whether you're holding it like a regular flashlight or using a tactical grip, it feels natural. There's a strobe function for signaling or emergencies, plus an LED indicator around the side button that shows both battery and brightness levels. Nice little touch. Charging is magnetic, which is simple, but it does rely on Olight's proprietary battery and charger. Lose one of those, and you're kind of out of luck. On the bright side, it can run up to 55 days on the lowest setting, making it a dependable pick for survival gear or any mission where having steady light matters. There's a certain confidence that comes with holding the EC6. It's big, tough, and feels like it was made for situations where failure isn't an option. This isn't your average folding knife that might buckle under stress. It's a full-tang fixed blade crafted from solid carbon steel, giving it the kind of durability you'd want when you're far from backup. The balance is what really sells it, though. It's hefty enough to chop through small branches or handle some light batoning, yet it's still manageable for finer detail work, like carving or slicing food. The grip doesn't slip, even when your hands are cold or wet, and the sheath is nothing fancy, but it holds up when you need it to. Carbon steel does demand a bit more care than stainless. If you slack off on maintenance, rust will show up, no question. But in exchange, you're getting a blade that really bites into wood, holds an edge better than most, and doesn't shy away from real work. Yeah, it doesn't try to look futuristic or over-designed. It's just a straight-up workhorse that keeps performing long after cheaper knives give up. If you're the type who wants something that can smash, chop, or break through just about anything, the top 6 axe is worth a look. It's not exactly subtle or easy to carry, but that's not what it was built for. This beast is made from a single thick slab of 1075 steel, not the more common 1095. The reason? 1075 is less prone to chipping or cracking when you're striking hard surfaces. The trade-off is you'll need to sharpen it more often since it doesn't hold an edge quite as long. The business end is serious. A 5.25-inch blade with a mean spike on the back. One good swing and you're dealing with major impact. The handle's long and wrapped in grippy black micarta, which gives you solid control and power when you're swinging. But make no mistake, this thing weighs nearly 2.5 pounds, so it's not the kind of tool you'll casually strap to your belt for a hike. It does come with a leather sheath, but that's more for covering the blade than carrying. You'll need to lash it to a pack or molly gear if you're planning to bring it along. Bottom line? If you've got the space and don't mind the weight, the top 6 axe is a wrecking tool in knife form. The Faro Concepts Bison Belt isn't your average tactical belt floating around online. This one was designed with input from actual special forces and law enforcement, so it's made to handle real-world stress. The outer belt uses a stiff, laser-cut thermoplastic core that's strong enough to hold gear without sagging. Despite the stiffness, it's surprisingly slim and lighter than many bulky belts out there. Gear setup is straightforward. It uses molly webbing, so attaching holsters, pouches, or other add-ons is no problem. The buckle is a rugged D-ring Cobra style, and the whole system secures to an inner Velcro belt, making it quick to throw on or strip off. The downside? Comfort. That stiff core, while practical, can dig in if your loadout isn't balanced properly. And if you're not already invested in molly-compatible gear, it might feel like you're paying for more than you'll use. Plus, it's on the pricier end compared to simpler belts that get the basic job done. But here's the thing. If you want a lightweight, low-profile setup that can actually take a beating without falling apart, the Bison Belt really does deliver. It's built for people who need their gear to perform when things get rough. When you're putting together serious survival gear, it's not just about knives and flashlights. You also need to think about breathing clean air when conditions turn ugly. That's where the Mira C21 comes in. This is a full-face respirator designed for actual hazards like chemicals, smoke, and even nuclear fallout. It's not some cheap replica. It meets tough European safety standards and is trusted by first responders. The C21 covers your whole face and comes in 3 sizes so you can get a proper seal. You can mount the filter on either side, which makes a difference if you're shooting left or right-handed. The lens is large, impact-resistant, and doesn't fog easily. It's designed with shooters in mind, so it works with optics, scopes, and even prescription glasses. Inside, the airflow is engineered to keep carbon dioxide from building up too much, so you can wear it longer without feeling faint. Well, it's not the easiest thing to carry around. It's bulky, and while there's supposed to be a feature for swapping filters without breaking the seal, that part isn't available yet. Still, if you're prepping for worst-case scenarios, this mask is one of the more reliable ways to keep your lungs and eyes safe. The Gerber MP600 is one of those tools with history. If you've ever been around the military, chances are you've handled one, or at least seen one rattling around in someone's kit. It's been issued for years, and that kind of track record says a lot. The standout feature is the one-handed plier deployment. On paper, it's awesome. But in practice, well, it works well, but yeah, it's not always silky smooth. Sometimes you have to give it a little encouragement. Beyond the pliers, you've got 13 additional tools tucked inside the handles. Blades, screwdrivers, a saw, file, bottle, and can openers, even rulers. It's a solid lineup. Build quality is strong, made in the US, and the wire cutters have replaceable rotating carbide blades, which is smart since they'll wear over time. It even comes with an NSN number, so the military can reorder it easily. It's not without quirks. There's no bit driver slot, so you're stuck with the built-in screwdrivers instead of swapping bits like on newer multi-tools. And the handles, by design, have some play, which makes it feel a little loose in hand. Something not everyone loves. Still, the MP600 is a proven, rugged multi-tool that's been trusted in real-world use for decades. Is one of those setups that feels like it was designed by people who've actually been out there struggling to stay alive. And that makes sense. Randall's Adventure and Training, the folks behind it, have real survival experience in some of the roughest environments. The kit's built around the 5 core needs: shelter, fire, water, rescue, and navigation. It all comes packed in a durable Cordura bag with backpack straps. And when they say loaded, they mean it. You get fire starters, a compass, a signal mirror, duct tape, water bags, rope, carabiner, headlamp, emergency blanket, and even gear for light rappelling. The knife setup alone is impressive. You get a Victorinox plus a full IFAK 4P survival knife. It's essentially a one-stop survival supply, minus food. Now for the reality check, it's not light. The whole thing weighs about 5 pounds, and some items inside aren't exactly compact. That makes it better suited as a base camp kit or something to stash in your truck rather than lugging on a minimalist hike. And while the gear list is long, a few pieces feel a bit entry-level, like the pencil or wire saw. Many people end up swapping out certain items for higher quality versions. But at the end of the day, it's one of the most comprehensive survival kits out there. If your survival loadout calls for something that can carry a ton of gear without folding under the weight, the Condor Orion Assault Pack deserves a look. This is a 50-liter sustainment pack, which puts it firmly in the big category. For short-day hikes, it's overkill, but for multi-day trips or setting up a base camp, the size becomes a major advantage. One of its smartest features is the detachable pack on the outside. The outer compartment zips off and transforms into a smaller backpack or sling bag. That means you can haul everything in the main pack, then drop it at camp and run lighter for day trips or scouting missions. It's a clever system that adds flexibility in the field. Inside the main compartment, you've got plenty of space for larger tools and supplies, plus tie-down straps to keep everything from shifting. The padding on the back panel and shoulder straps makes long hauls more tolerable, though once it's fully loaded, it definitely feels like you're carrying a small mountain. It's hydration ready too, but you'll need to buy a bladder separately. Bottom line, the Orion is a rugged, roomy pack built more for heavy-duty survival and tactical use than everyday carry. If you've got big loads to manage, it'll handle them. When emergencies get serious, a box of Band-Aids just won't cut it. That's where the North American Rescue Mini First Aid Kit steps in. This little kit is designed for trauma, gunshots, blast injuries, and other life-threatening situations. It's the kind of setup first responders actually rely on, not just a convenience pouch for scrapes. Size-wise, it's surprisingly compact, about half the size of NAR's larger Torque kit, but still packs in the essentials. It comes in a tough nylon case with moly backing for mounting vertically, or you can thread it onto a belt horizontally. The clamshell design makes it quick to open, with 2 internal sleeves that give you access to tourniquets, gauze, and other key supplies without fumbling. It's worth noting this isn't a beginner-friendly kit. There aren't instructions inside, so you need to know how to use what's in it. And because of the compact design, you'll have to be selective with what extras you add. It won't fit everything. Cost can be another factor since trauma gear doesn't come cheap. Still, for anyone who knows what they're doing and wants a small, reliable kit that can actually save a life in seconds, this one is hard to beat. Well, a pen might not seem like survival gear, but the Gerber Impromptu Pen isn't your typical ballpoint. It was designed with input from law enforcement, who pointed out that the tool you already have in your hand can often be the one that saves you. And in this case, that's exactly the point. The Impromptu is built from tough steel with a Cerakote finish, so it's more than capable of taking abuse. It uses a write-in-the-rain ink cartridge, which means it'll keep writing in rain, snow, or on damp paper. That makes it reliable in conditions where a normal pen would give up. And at the tip, a tempered steel glass breaker built right in. If you need to smash through a car window, whether to escape or help someone else, you've got the tool ready without digging through gear. Now, it's not perfect. As a pen, it's a bit on the bulky side, and while the push-button mechanism is sturdy, it doesn't feel as smooth as you'd expect from something in this price range. Still, the Impromptu pulls double duty. It writes when you need it, breaks glass in emergencies, and can even serve as a last-ditch self-defense option. Thanks for watching. Feel free to reveal your thoughts in the comments section and share this video if you find it helpful. And to know more about outdoor products, reviews, and buying guides, you can visit our website, go outdoorzone.com.